Yes, dear students, the final MA final students, today we have taken Gayatri Chakrabarti's Spivak prose work, Can the Subaltern Speak? Now, Gayatri Spivak, is an eminent personality. She's a professor, a university professor at Columbia University. She's a literary theorist. She's a feminist critic, and of course, she's an Indian scholar. Now, let us know what exactly subaltern means. Now, the title of this prose work is Can the Subaltern Speak? And let's see what subaltern here means. Now, according to Gayatri Chakrabarti Spivak, subalternity is a position without identity, a position where social lines of mobility, being elsewhere, do not permit the formation of a recognizable basis of action. This is what the definition Gayatri Spivak has given on subaltern. But basically, subaltern means that people who belong to the oppressed and the lower classes. So, no matter, we can say the theory has been developed or whatever can has been spoken about on subalterns, and whether they have been considered, they're not considered the mainstreamers of society, they're considered as a kind of an outcasts. So this work, this article, in fact, we can say, Can the Subaltern Speak, was written in the year 1988, and it was written by Gayatri Spivak, of course, and it relates to the manner in which Western cultures investigate their other cultures. Now, again, this is opinion about the. She's talking about the Britishers, British culture, and how what has been their perspective about the Indian cultures, Indian traditions, and Indian thoughts. Spivak gives the example of Indian sati practice of and video suicide, of course, that has been malpracticed since years in our country. And however, the main significance of this article, Can the Subaltern Speak, is in the first part, which presents the ethical problems of investigating a different culture based on a universal concept and framework. So, if we deal with this article critically, then there is an arrow of Western writers from Marx to Foucault, Deleuze, and Derrida, and the claim, the opening statement of the Western academic thinking is produced in order to support Western economical interest. So Spivak here holds that knowledge is never innocent and that it expresses the interests of its producers. So, in other words, we can say that Spivak's knowledge is like any other commodity that is exported from the West to the third world for financial and other types of gains. So, here in this article, Spivak is condemning the different critical writers and their moves on the example of Indian sati practice. That is basically a focus on that Indian sati practice she has been talking about, and she's condemning it, and she's saying that why the widow suicide and all these things were there, and what was the futility of this practice. So Spivak here is wondering how the third world subject be studied without cooperation with the colonial project. So she points out the research should be done, and the research is always done in the colonial way, because India was a colony when the Britishers were ruling, and India has always been a colony there that time. So, in defining the other over there subject as the object of study and something that knowledge should be extracted from and brought there, basically we are talking about the white men speaking to white men about colored men or women. So, again, here she's also highlighting that the reason why all this happened was that the skin problem, the white and the black or the brown, this problem has always been prevalent with the western countries and western people, and especially the Britishers and the Americans. So this is also, she is being highlighted, the racism and the other things, and the color of the skin also. So she examines the validity of the Western representation of the other. So she proposes that the discursive institutions which regulate writing about others are shut off to post-colonial or feminist scrutiny. So here Spivak holds a fact that a critical thinking about the other and relation to the homogenic vocabulary. So this is what she talks and speaks about in this article. Now, I have given you a general idea of what exactly Gayatri is talking about in this essay, in this article, and of course, she is also not in favor of, because she's a feminist critic, so she always wanted that this Hindu right of sati in India, it should be abolished, and it has been generally understood as a case. Now, how the Britishers understood this practice? They understood as a case of white men saving brown women from brown men. So this quote is something which was invented by Gayatri, and this quote in fact defines in a way what has been the perspective of the Britishers about this sati practice, and how in which way they looked at it and how it was considered by them. So this is the basic claim of Gayatri, and we'll continue. There are so many other areas of this article we need to explore and understand. So we're going to continue uh, the same article, the discussion upon the same article, and the various kinds of perspective of Gayatri Spivak on this article in the next class. Thank you.